Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. So we are almost at Valentine's Day. It is this week. So we are doing Valentine's Love Alchemy readings. So with the Dragon Tarot and with the Younger Futhark. So we'll see how that works. It's going to be interesting at least. Some pretty hard truths about to be revealed, I have a feeling. But anyway, so each of these is a pile of two. One is going to represent you, and one is going to represent the person in whom you are interested in whom you are interested. So I am going to read these as though this has to do with you and another person. Now, if you're not interested in that, you can hear the reading as though I'm referring to you and another thing, if that's your desire. So don't feel like there's nothing for you in these readings if it doesn't have to do with you and another person in your life. But if it does, that's how I'm going to read them. I'm mostly going to focus, but once again, if you're not interested in that, these readings may still help you because it will be you and about you and something to which you are drawn. So feel into the cards. One of these piles of two has a message for you about you and a person to whom you are being drawn, or about you and a something to which you are being drawn. However, I am going to read it as though it's to another person because it's almost Valentine's Day. So that's what we're going to do. And I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you there. Bye. Hello, Love Alchemy pile number 1. So first we're going to separate the cards. The top one's you, the second one is the other person. So we're going to turn them, and we're going to see what we're dealing with to start with. So you are being represented by the Page of Wands, somebody who is just starting out in wanting to exert your will in terms of just like wanting to take steps based on your will. And also, there's a little bit of communication in there happening. You want to just initiate that, but a lot of this is going to be like you just basically, you've decided this is something you want to start out and do. You actually want to take steps and start out and sort of start acting on your will and try to make things happen. The other person in question is the Queen of Swords. So, once again, you may see like kings, queens, that sort of thing. It doesn't mean specifically the gender of the person or the gender identity of the person that we're dealing with. This is just basically yin or yang kind of thing. So get that straight right away. So you here are being represented by the Page of Wands, somebody who just wants to start out and set out on a new path that has to do with something that you really want, and also may have a little bit of element of communication to it, but a lot of it is just going to be like directing your will kind of thing, something you haven't really not done before. And the person that you're drawn to, or the thing that you're drawn to, is represented by Queen of Swords, somebody who is very high energy. Now in these cards, by the way, I just thought I would mention, which is why I was talking so much about communication with this one, they've switched the elements for wands and swords. So swords in this deck are fire and wands in this deck are air. It's confusing, I know, but anyway, on we go. So this is the Queen of Swords. We still have the energy element, but in terms of some of the other things that have to do with swords, I'm sorry, it's too confusing. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. So anyways, it's a fiery personality, somebody very high energy, and very attractive for all that. So no surprise that you're attracted to them. So let's get some runes down and clarify the situations. We'll do your runes first. Yeah. So which one is this? Uh-oh, I don't know. I think this is the other one. Okay. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's and there's the other one just to specify, so. No, that actually is ear, so that's interesting. Okay, cool. These are not the same rune. One of them is reversed. It's the Younger Futhark, so we have that going on. Oop. Okay, cool. So as far as you're concerned, you feel this is a need at this point. This is something that you need to deal with. This is something that you really feel is a need in your life. We have Nalder, which is the rune of need. Leading up to this, you have felt that you were, this is the one I'm calling ear. You want to shoot something forward into the future, basically. You want to look at continuity and perpetuity, and you're really sort of feeling like you want something for the future. You're thinking about the future, basically, which has sort of led this to feeling like a need, that you really want to have this relationship, you really want to initiate a relationship. What is going to help you is, now we have Maldra. Maldra is the rune of humanity. It's the rune of the potential of humanity. So it's basically, will you be, you'll have greatness, or will you just basically become dust at the end? And it's reversed on the helping line. So it's basically, this is sort of something that you feel like you're doing to sort of fulfill some of your potential as a human living, is that you want to do this. And it's an internal thing. So it's not actually an external thing where you want to like be of greatness and things, but it's sort of like you just want to experience this. It's something that you want to add to your experiences as a human, and it's going to be an internal thing. So even if it's just internal, then you're actually pretty good with that. What isn't going to help is you are leaving your comfort zone in order to do this. This is Os, it's the god, it's the sanctuary of the god. And it's basically, you're worried about that because you've been this so long, you actually are stepping forward to do this. It's something new for you. And it's a bit worrying because you are stepping out of your comfort zone. You could be tempted to go back to it instead of moving forward. If that starts to be the case, just bring yourself up to where you've decided that you want to actually have this in your life. You want to have this experience. So let's move forward and do that. And I see you moving forward into a place of, if this was the Younger Futhark, I would say, a place of heart, and it would be really, the good emotions and heart. However, this is the Younger Futhark, and we are looking at Lager, which is the rune of the flow, the water, and the riches. And so it's still a good thing because it's like you're looking to get into this flow of riches. However this turns out, which we will look at, there is something about this that once you start, then this will enrich your life in a way that it wasn't before. Okay, let's go and look at the other person, or thing, the other person in this equation. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting, actually. Extremely interesting. So as far as they're concerned, they are, so this is Fae. Fae is the rune of riches, but riches that are contested. It really shows you who your friends are. They're sort of turning away from that at this point. Like they're more interested in inner worth than they are like inner riches than they are in like outer riches at this point. Leading up to this, it's just been, they've been journeying on. The thing about is it Rod? Is it Rod in this? I think it might be either Rod or Ride. I'm trying to remember whether it's the Younger Futhark or the Elder Futhark, the Younger Futhark or the Anglo-Saxon Futhork where it's Ride. It might be Rod. Anyway, enough. It's the R rune and it's the riding rune. So basically it's in this, it's basically it's comfortable for the rider but a toil for the horse. So it's like they've been moving forward and their spirit has been carrying them forward, but there's a part of them that is a bit tired. So now they're like not looking for external riches, they're really looking for something that's internal, and they're sort of worried about they're sort of feeling like they're hiding their riches because they've had so much, because look at them, look how flashy they are, and they're in a situation where they've had a lot of trouble with that, like people have fought over them and stuff and been jealous. So what is helping with them with this situation is we have reversed. Is drizzle and slag in the Younger Futhark, and this has to do with something that wears down, but also something that reveals the true metal. And this is something they're doing like internally. This is something, because it's reversed. So this is something that they would be doing to sort of hone themselves and to sort of become stronger as themselves, because they're very obviously strong on the outside, but they want to like work on that inside. And wait a minute. Yes. What is not helping them, there's a couple of runes in here that look the same but are not. So this is R. R is the rune of the harvest, fertility, gift of fertility, abundance. They're worried about that. You know, they're kind of worried about what they're going to get out of it. So, and if that starts to happen, you know, they've just really got to drag themselves back up to, look, I'm not looking for material at this point. I'm not looking for material confirmation on this. This is not, I'm not going into this for what am I going to get out of it. What I'm going to get out of it is what I'm going to put into it internally. So that's sort of where they're at, because they have what they need, like, externally. Look at them. And it looks like, you know, warmth and coolness kind of thing, but like more of a pure light kind of thing, and this is like a fiery. Anyway, so what this is going to lead them to is they may see this as a bridge for them. This is Isa, and Isa is the rune of ice. In the Younger Futhark, this has to do with building a bridge, having solidity that they can stand on, and that will help them out. So it does look like, you know, if this merges, there will be a flow of riches to you, and for them it creates a bridge of solidity. So that will be really nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the outcome and throw down some runes about that. So it's exciting, eh? Okay, what's the outcome for this? What's the alchemy for this? Is that the alchemy? I'm going to redo that because I don't trust it. It just kind of flopped. Okay, the alchemy for this is... that one's true. Ooh. Well, I can read this in a positive way. There is a way in which if this happens, if you do this, if this does connect, it will sort of be the end of both of your worlds as you know them. But the thing about the tower is that the tower needs to come down. So it will be a necessary end to both of your current worlds. It could be catastrophic, which is not going to be okay. And I just remembered that I was going to build the runes on top of the cards to avoid what I'm about to do, but that's okay. I'll do it now. So yeah, it's if this goes forward, it will be difficult because of the relatively catastrophic nature of what is combining. There's no reason that this can't mean that it'll be okay. But it may also not work. But hey, the point is, like, both of you are going to get something out of it as far as internally. You'll get the experience, and they will get something that will bridge them to something new, which is exciting. But anyway, let's read the outcome. We have Thurs right away. Thurs, which is the giant. This has to do with something that you want to ward against, and this is like the ending of your world. Oh my gosh. Please remember, this is entertainment purposes only. I don't want to stop you from what you're doing because you need the experience anyway. Life. So you might see this as something that is like something really threatening to you. And if it's like egos, then maybe it would be threatening. So I'm gonna, on the good side, it may be like threatening to ego, where you need to let go of what really wasn't helping you anyway, because the tower does need to come down. Leading up to this, it will be really, initially, it will feel great. It'll be like both of you with the sun coming out, because this is the soul, it's the sun, it's vanquisher of darkness. So something rich will come into your lives anyway, but then you'll be in a situation where you'll be watching the lives that you knew sort of collapsing because it's no longer sustainable. And that's a bit worrying for you because we have Thurs, which is something you'd want to ward against. What is going to help you is just understanding that this is nature. We have Hagal, which is the hailstorm rune, and this is just basically nature, and this is the sort of thing that's been there since the dawn of time. You could see this as, okay, you know what, that's life, or you could see this as, in that the tower needs to come down all the time. You could see this as just like, this is nature, and this period of this will pass. What isn't going to help is that it's going to be a bit painful. We have Kaun, which is the rune of the ulcer. So it's something that either you're worried about it just getting worse and worse, or the fact that it might just hurt more and more might be a problem. Ultimately, on this card, we have Tyr reversed. So Tyr is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god, but in this, it has to do with duties, responsibilities, and also sacrifice. maybe neither one of you is willing to make that sacrifice. Either way, at the end of it, you'll want to, it's like an internal sacrifice that you'll be making for this. I'm not saying that this won't work, but anyway, let's get the final rune on this. And we have Bjarkan. And Bjarkan is the rune of beginnings. It's the rune of beginnings. It's something that has begun. Whether or not this works, you both will have begun something that is new, and you'll feel the newness of it. So whether you get through this and it's a new beginning for the two of you together, or whether you try it and it was a new beginning for both of you, even if it didn't work, it's going to be exciting, and it will mean the end of the worlds as you know them, if you go ahead with this. But there's potential for both ways for this to go. Either way, you go through with this, you're going to have a new beginning in your life. Things are going to feel new. There's going to be new sprouts of things. Things are going to feel like you're going to be rebirthed in the world. So that's exciting. So that's your reading, pile number 1. I wish you a happy Valentine's Day. All the best of luck. Wishing you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 2 people. So we're going to divide this up. This one represents you. This represents the person or thing that you're interested in. And we're going to turn them and we're going to see what we're dealing with. So 8 of Wands, you're in a hurry. You're really in a rush about this. You are absolutely feeling like you are in a rush about this whole situation. So that's you. Knight of Swords, it's like you're in pursuit of them. And they are just on their own quest. They have their own thing that they're doing, and they are very busy in their own quest in life. So let's get some runes down on this and see what we're dealing with. I was going to build these on the cards themselves, and I will do it on the last card, but I'm just going to do what I did in the first reading, which was just to build them beside. Okay, for you, we'll start with you, what your story is. Which one is this? Okay. Yeah, okay. Whoa. Lots of stuff going on for that. Okay. So for you, right now your concern is you really want to make the most of life. You're like in YOLO mode. And we have Madra, which is the rune of the potential of humanity. You really want to, live. You want to get the most out of the totality of human experience, and you want to you want to live this. You don't want this to pass you by. So that's why you're in a bit of a rush. And probably also why you're drawn to this person or thing, whatever this is that we're talking about. I am going to refer to this as a person. Leading up to that, you feel like you've been a bridge for others. You've done a lot of helping for others, but you feel like, when do I get to have a bridge? Kind of thing. This is ice. Isa, it's ice. The ice rune has to do with the solidity and being solid and being a bridge. So now you're like, wait a minute, I'm not going to sit here and be a bridge my whole life. I want to actually live. What is going to help you is just basically this idea of nature. We have Hagal, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with this is the storms that were put in place from the dawn of time. So you're basically, you want to embrace the natural forces of things, and also, whether this hurts or whether it doesn't, I still want to experience it. So you just want to embrace the experience, because everything is fleeting, you feel. What doesn't help is the fact that we have Nadra, and Nadra is the rune of need. I'm sort of seeing this as you want to rush forward and do this, but there's this temptation of, if something happens where you get a little owie from the hailstorm hitting you, then you'll just basically pull back and go back to being a bridge for everybody. So that's like a bit of a temptation. But once again, you want to rush forward. You're rushing. You're in a rush. And what this is going to lead you to, I'm going to read this a couple ways. We have Fae reversed. Fae is the rune of, it's gold and wealth, but wealth that is contested, and it is reversed. So I'm seeing this as, one, letting go of sort of material wants. This is like something where you're like, I don't care about that. This is what I'm more interested in, internal riches, and I want the best of that. So That's the two things. So let's start reading. Let's read the other person. Let's see what they get from the Younger Futhark. So yeah, they are on a quest. They are on a quest, and the dragon is the one that is bearing the burden. But they are absolutely on a quest right now. Very busy. Yes, so they are looking for treasure. They're looking for harvest. Leading up to this, so here they are on the riding rune. They are riding forth on their quest. Dragon for me references power, so they are sort of giving the burden to their power and riding forward, and that is letting them ride forward on this quest that they're on. They're just like on a mission. Leading up to this, they've done a lot of internal honing. This is which is drizzle and slag. It's reversed, so it's internal. So they've done a lot of the internal work. They've honed their inner sword, so to speak, and they are just plowing forward on their quest. They are very, very busy with this. Now, what is going to help them as far as this goes is it will help them get in touch with their inner yin nature. Once again, gender and gender identity is not, none of this is speaking of that. I'm just talking about yin and yang, yin being receptive and yang being pushing forward. So this will help them get more in touch with, oh, wait a minute, you know what? This is Biarkan, which is not Berkana. So reversed, it's basically, it's like an internal new beginning is what I'm seeing that. And that's sort of looking to have a new beginning internally. Now this is, I could also read this as sort of not beginning or ending a beginning kind of thing, but that sort of doesn't really tie in with what this connection might be. So as far as the connection goes, I'm sort of seeing this as a new beginning, but something they're starting from deep inside. What won't help them is they are still driving forward looking for riches. We have Lager, which is the rune of the flow of water. So in the Younger Futhark, this has to do with water is just filled with riches. And so they're sort of fixated on that to a certain extent. But when they do this, on the path, they're going to encounter it anyway. If they do this new beginning, they're going to see, we have R, which is the rune of the harvest. So they're going to start to get this abundance thing happening. They're going to have more abundance than they did before. So that's exciting. It's actually kind of almost opposite, because you're not looking for material and they were, but now they're looking for, you know, the abundance. So you're both sort of getting internal abundance and internal new beginnings. So let's get a card to show a bit of the outcome of what this would be, the alchemy. Let's do the alchemy part. Just going to shuffle this so I can get a fresh card for the outcome of this. So this is our outcome of this potential pairing. King of Pentacles. So both of you are going to end up, if this goes on, you pursue this, your lives are going to feel very, very rich indeed. This is something that may potentially, once again, entertainment purposes only. Don't let this rule you. This is just, you know, the reading, the Valentine's reading. So let's get some runes down on this. This is the sort of outcome. Just balance this all. You know, normally I would read this as like extreme threat, but it's sort of like you have nullified the threat by Thurs reversed. So what do we have here? Nice. This looks pretty good. I don't want to give you false hope because, once again, entertainment purposes only, but and this would be, yeah, this is. Okay. So your central point of the alchemy of this, of the combining, if this actually goes through, we have Tyr reversed. Tyr's the warrior god. He has to do with duties, responsibilities, and also with with like sacrifice. It's, if there's any sacrifice at all, it's internal that's going on, and you are able to take care of yourselves internally as well. You are able to fulfill your duties and responsibilities to yourselves by doing this. This will alchemize you into being able to do this. Leading up to this, we have Thurs reversed. Now Thurs is basically a giant, so it's something that is so threatening that you would want to bind rune against. But this, I mean, this is like the first time I've seen it sort of be, you've overturned that. You're sort of like, you've vanquished that. It's been overturned, and now you're basically looking inward and taking care of yourself by doing this. You could also see this as you've overcome your internal giants to meet in the middle and have this, where you're basically taking care of yourselves by taking care of each other, by sort of being together. What is going to help you is to acknowledge where there's internal pain. You're sort of going to focus on this internal pain and sort of healing of it. We have Kaun, which is the ulcer. It's reversed, so that's internal. So like the sore spots, the little internal triggers, things like that. But just the fact that it's what's helping you says to me that this is something that you're going to be addressing. You're going to be able to address it, and you're going to feel safe to address it, and I'll get to that. What won't help is you're sort of worried because, you know, you were both active, push. And you sort of had an idea of the future from before, and that's kind of been overturned. You're going forward in a different direction from either of your driving forwards before. So this is ear, it's the bow. It has to do with like shooting your arrow into the future, continuity, perpetuity. This is kind of overturned, and you're kind of worried that everything you had been working towards before has now been overturned, and you're just basically here now in this stillness sort of place. It's basically like, not stillness, but like a sanctuary, which I'm going to get to. Because ultimately, as you push forward into this, not push forward, but move gently forward into this, now that you've come to this place of relative rest, we have Os, which is the rune of the god and the sanctuary, sort of like your sanctuary, that this is going to become for you. And you won't feel the need to drive forward so much anymore. So let's get the outcome rune. And the outcome rune is beautiful. We have Sol, which is the sun, so vanquisher of darkness, comforter of those who were in darkness. In the Younger Futhark, I talk about the source energy with this one, so this looks really good. You both have very similar energy to start with, so that's actually probably going to help a lot. But the fact that you can rest in each other's presences and also be comfortable with each other, with sharing your internal pains, is like a big deal. And then this becomes like a sanctuary. So that looks lovely. So that is your reading. Pile number 2 people. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 3 people. So we're going to separate these. Each of these is going to represent one of you. So this one represents you, and this represents the person or thing that you are drawn to. So let's turn them and see what we're dealing with. Okay, so we have the High Priest, otherwise known as the Hierophant. So we have the High Priest. So you're sort of, you know, your living faith. You have your living faith. Where you move forward, you have your living faith in everyday life. Sort of finding balance in that. Maybe you're a little bit mentor-y. And the one that you're drawn to, the person or the thing that you're drawn to, is very much a dreamer's, like on a dreamer's quest. We have the Knight of Cups. This is like creativity and driving forward and sort of moving forward into this like dreamer's quest, sort of eyes on the stars. So let's get some runes down and see what we're dealing with. I'm going to start with you, High Priest. And we have Bjarkan reversed. I'm not going to recite them. Soul. Fae reversed. La la la. And let's read that. So right now your central issue is you're looking for a new beginning, really mostly a new beginning internally. You feel like you've sort of arrived at a certain point where if you proceed in this way, you will be stagnating. So you're really sort of, you're wanting to start anew, and you're wanting to start anew from within. Now, leading up to this, you've been really in very good connection with the sun, or whatever the sun is for you. So it's the light, vanquisher of darkness. You feel like you've got through that, but now you're like, this can't be all. There's got to be more, and I want to start from within, a new beginning. Bjarkan is the birch tree, so it's beginnings, new beginnings, births, newness, la la la. What is going to help you is, we have Fey reversed. So Fey is the rune of wealth and gold, only in the Younger Futhark, it's gold that is contested. It's wealth that is contested. It's how you find out who your friends are. What you're wanting to do, I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, you're sort of turning away from that kind of wealth, where the outer type of wealth where it's something that's contested and you find out which of your friends are wolves, etc., etc. Not that that's anything against wolves, that's just the old poem. But at the same time, you're looking to find your inner wealth, your gold within, and you want to share it with somebody who isn't going to be a jerk about it. So because you know that you have a lot of wealth inwardly. You have your riches that are within. Maybe you've been really careful before on who you share it with, because people might get nasty and jealous about it, but right now this is what you're turning to. You're basically keeping that close to you as you move out into this new pursuit. What isn't going to help is you're a bit worried about riding forward on this. Part of your spirit is quite tired and doesn't really feel like carrying you forward into this new thing. It's been through all of this to get to the point where it's vanquished darkness, and it's like, I'm kind of tired and I don't really feel like carrying my life forward into this whole new ground. But you gotta, and you have so much to share, and you have so much to give, and you have so much inner riches that you want to share in the world. So this is what you want to do. As you move forward, we have Tyr reversed. Tyr is the warrior god, and in the Younger Futhark, this has to do with sacrifice and also tending duties, tending responsibilities, but it's reversed. So I'm seeing this as M1. This is something where you're going to be sort of making an inner sacrifice, but you're also tending duties and responsibilities to yourself. At the same time, you're sort of surrendering to it. So that's happening. So let's read the other person, or thing, if this is a thing and not a person, but I'm reading it as a person. Once again, entertainment purposes only. I don't want to break your heart or give you hopes that perhaps you oughtn't to have. Use your own judgment on all of these, but here it's fun. We'll just see what we get. All right. So for this person, they're really adverse to things that are going to feel threatening. Like, they just want to leave all of that behind. As I said, they're the dreamer. They're a dreamer knight. They're just basically seeking, the beauty and creation and things like that. So they're really, really adverse to something that might become threatening to them. We have Thurs, which is the giant. It is reversed. So a few ways I can see this going is sort of internal giant, where something like they're sort of fleeing their internal negativity, maybe. At the same time, they may have overturned in their lives any threats that are around them by doing what they're doing. At the same time, they may feel very threatened indeed by things on the outside that are coming at them. So again, this is all one of the reasons they're doing this. They're just like, they've made themselves removed, and they've made themselves sort of untouchable as far as you can't reach me. Leading up to this, they have been a bridge for a lot of people. They've been very helpful to people. This is Isa, which is in the Younger Futhark Ice, where it has to do with creating a solid ground, creating a bridge, and helping people. But now they're in a situation where they feel like they don't want to get hurt, they don't want to deal with threats, they don't want to deal with anything they have to put up a bind rune for, so they're just like on their floating sea dragon and just like keeping their eyes on the loveliness and the beauty and not really letting themselves be dragged down. What helps them is that they are in a state of abundance. We have R, which is the rune of the harvest, beautiful gift of Frey, and it's just basically they are in a state of abundance, and that's where they're sort of situated. It's joyful, that's where they're at, that's what helps them. What doesn't help is there's always that threat of chaos and weather and bad weather and things that can kill them by 1,000 tiny hailstones. We have hail, Hagalaz, not Hagalaz, Hagal, which is the hailstorm rune. I mean, it's stuff that's been there from the dawn of time, but they can't be bothered with it. So, so it's like they're always worried about that coming in because they want to ward that off. So they keep themselves in a state of feelings of abundance and plenty. And what this leads to is actually they feel hurts more keenly. They are going to feel something will fester. They can let something fester because they're not addressing these things. And that could be a problem when they mix with somebody who is sort of in a state of surrender also. So between your state of surrender and their likelihood to let things be ignored until they fester, I'm a bit worried about that. So let's draw the rune for the alchemy outcome and see how this mix goes. Again, entertainment purposes only. I don't want to break any hearts or give any high hopes where they are not valid. What's the outcome for this, of this alchemy? 9 of Cups. Okay, well, it's pretty good. 9 of Cups is pretty good. It's basically that be careful what you wish for thing. It's like there's still something not quite complete. It's not quite complete, and maybe that's something that you can work on. In spite of the fact that both of you are likely to avoid problems until they hurt, it looks like this is still a pretty happy connection. So let's get some runes down on this card and see what we're looking at with this alchemy. Yeah, so it's going to really help hone you both. Like it would, if this connects, this is going to help hone you both. We have which is the rune of drizzle, and slag, which is the wearing down. And it's something that can help reveal the true metal. So that's pretty good. Wait a minute, what do I have here? Am I missing? No, I'm not. There we are. So we're good. So we have which is, as I said, it's drizzle and slag, but it's also, drizzle and slag. And so it's something that is going to hone you. It might wear you down internally a bit, but as it does this, it's going to reveal your true metal. Leading up to this, both of you went into this to sort of do the totality of human experience thing. This is Madru, it's the rune of humanity, and sort of the rune of the potential of humanity. So you're sort of both feeling like you're fulfilling potential by going through with this. What is going to help you is we have Lager, and Lager is the rune of the water, and the water is very filled with riches. This is going to enrich your lives, especially internally. There's a lot of internal going on with this alchemy, but your lives are going to become very much enriched internally. There's going to be a flow. There may be sort of a lack of outer flow, but that's not actually going to, like, this is the rune that helps you. So this is like this, the watery night is bringing in the flow. And so even the unpleasant emotional flow that's happening might be, I keep wanting to read this as Elder Futhark, and it's not. You're going to be getting a lot of riches from this. And that's going to help you in this, is that your lives are going to be very much more enriched. What isn't going to help is this is out of both of your comfort zones. We have Os, which is the rune of the god, and Sanctuary, and the Sanctuary of the god, and this is like where you feel comfortable. You're worried about your feelings of sanctuary and safety as you do this, because this is, once again, out of both of your comfort zones as you do this. This is going to lead to where you're both going to have to really address the things that you've been neglecting. You're really going to have to address your needs. This is going to be the outcome of this. Ultimately, you're going to have to face what you've been avoiding. But 9 of Cups is not a bad thing. 9 of Cups is like happiness. So the total outcome of this is we have Ear's the bow, and the bow is it is upright, hooray! It's you're shooting arrows into the future for your future happiness. So it's sort of like what you come together with will lay the groundwork, and if you continue with it, if you pursue it, even if this doesn't work and you go forward, this will have laid the groundwork for you to shoot for your future happiness, whether together or separately. And just basically looking to the future, looking for perpetuity, continuity, you can see a future through this that will be something new, but something that carries forward. So that is your very interesting reading, pile number 3, people. Happy Valentine's Day, and I wish you all the best. Have a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 4, people. So we're going to split these up. We have the top card is going to be representing you, and the second card is going to be representing the person to which you are drawn, or the thing to which you are drawn, although I am going to be reading this as though it is a person. So let's turn these and see what we're dealing with. Oop, this one's upside down. That's okay. So you are being represented here by the Emperor. Right now, things are pretty stable for you. Things are good around you. You feel very grounded. You feel very much in comfortable control of things, even though you're letting things happen around you as well. You're in a pretty good position, and so what you're seeking is represented by the person you're looking at is represented by the sun. This person is extremely full of light and energy. This person is very exciting to you, and so this is like, what does the Emperor not have at this point where you've got pretty much everything? You don't have the sun yet. So this is sort of like this sort of natural pursuit of, no, you know what, that's what I'm shooting for. So let's get some runes down and see what we're dealing with a little bit deeper. So for you, we're going to do you first, Emperor. Yeah, so this is totally in keeping. Oh my God. The sun. Right, okay, you're off. So your central issue here is Fae. Fae is the rune of gold and wealth, but in the Younger Futhark, it is the wealth that is contested. The sort of thing that you'll know who your friends are because of it. You'll know which of your friends are wolves. So saith the poem. So you're sort of turning away from that kind of thing, although you still have your inner riches and your inner sense of richness. You know that other people are probably jealous of that as well. But this is where you're at currently as the Emperor. Leading up to this, you've had great abundance. You've had a great harvest. This is the harvest rune. Really state of abundance that has led you to this point where you're like, you know what? I'm happy with what I have currently. I am whole and complete. However, what is going to help me? The sun. You're sort of, what is going to help you is you're keeping the sun in your eyes. Now, the sun is also the vanquisher of darkness. It's hope. It's illumination. So your own of that is going to help you as you pursue this. This is where when it becomes harmonic. You're sort of with your harmonic, sort of seeking this. What isn't going to help you is you're worried about something that you may have to ward off. We have Thurs, which is the giant. And this has to do with just something that is really unpleasant and uncomfortable and not good and dangerous that you might have to ward off. You're worried about that happening. This could just be a fear of that. You're sort of worried about something disturbing that, but you are very interested in pursuing something that will continue this sense of light and illumination and, just vanquishing the darkness of things. And your outcome for this is you are up for the journey. You are ready to ride forward, and this is the riding rune, ready to ride forward on this journey, on this quest. So let's throw down some runes for the sun that has interested you so much. Okay, interesting. Perhaps. All right, so the sun, this that you are pursuing, currently the central issue for that is you are looking for this person or this thing is really, the central issue for that is we have Madra. Madra is the rune of the potential of humanity. It is reversed, so maybe they think they haven't really fulfilled their full potential. Maybe they feel like that's still going on, or maybe they're just really focused on just fulfilling their potential internally, and they're not really concerned about outwardly. Either way, that's where they're currently at. Leading up, they've been in a state of Maybe the riches haven't been flowing into their life as much as they would like. We have lager, which is the rune of the water that flows filled with riches. Maybe they feel it hasn't been flowing as much as they would like, and as a result, their potential is not being as fulfilled as they would like it to be. To read this another way, they have inner riches that are in constant flow, and they have an inner potential that is constantly being fulfilled. So that's where they're currently at, and it's like the sun, they have a lot to give sort of thing. What is going to help them is they do feel very much at home at the moment. We have Os, which is the rune of the god and the sanctuary of the god, and they're feeling very much in their element already, so they're pretty good. They don't actually feel, I mean, just like on your side, you are grounded, you are solid, you are already in a place of abundance. So are they. They are also grounded, and this is a really good way to do it because both of you are whole already, and you're not going to come into it with a sense of, I need this other person to complete me, which is never a good way to do it because you have to be complete as you are. If you have it that way, then that's like awful. That's like the codependent like thing where just you put your half of your identity on the other person. It's like, no, don't do that. That's not good for you. So if you're both feeling whole as you are, then you come together and it's like a meeting of like minds where you're not threatened by, this terror that the other person is going to take part of you with them. Like you're both already whole as you are. So you're like, okay, good. The thing is though, what isn't going to help this person is just like you're worried about the threat of the giant that you don't know about that might come and wreck things. This person is worried about, weather, like things that could come in unexpectedly. And even if they're temporary, they could hurt them, like lots of little hurts because this is the hailstorm. But right now, both of you are feeling like really solid where you are. The outcome for this, even though you are pursuing, it would pain them to leave this. Like they're a bit worried about leaving this state. Once again, it's this fear of like something that is unexpected, but like is just part of nature coming in, and they're worried about that. They have, it may actually hurt them anyway. Like it's like they have more to lose, kind of thing by leaving this state. We have Colin, which is the rune of the ulcer, something that it might get worse. As like it's something that starts small and might get worse kind of thing. So there is a pain involved with this one, whereas yours is like a joyous riding forward. I see this one, this particular current read, as it's a little more painful for them. And it probably because they're a lot more, so your grounding seems to involve other people, and there's a couple other dragons, but not so much. So maybe it would hurt them more to start this. But anyway, this is entertainment purposes only. Don't let this break your heart or get your hopes up too high. This is just something, take what resonates, and whatever doesn't, then let that go because it's for fun. So, so let's see what the outcome would be. Let's do the alchemy for this and see what the alchemy is for this. So we have the Magician. So not bad. You would be sort of a bringing together of all the diverse elements, which is good. So it wouldn't be super, super bad. But let's get some runes down on this and see how that goes. So for both of you, it's a bit of a sacrifice. We have Tear reversed. Both of you are going to have to like compromise a bit, have a bit of a sacrifice. Yeah. Let's just get that to stay and not fall over. But it is a new beginning, and that's a good thing. Okay. So, if this does connect, what we're going to see is there is going to be a bit of surrender on both parts. There is going to be a bit of sacrifice on both parts, and both of you are going to have to take really good care of yourselves internally, like yourself. You're going to have to do that. So we have Tyr reversed. Tyr is the warrior god. This has to do with tending duties and responsibilities, but also sacrifice in the Younger Futhark. Leading up to this, both of you were in a situation where you just did this because you're just shooting your arrow into the future. This is the bow, this is ear, and you're sort of like, this is about continuity, perpetuity, shooting your arrow into the future, Like, you're taking a stab at this. It's like, let's do it. Let's see if we can do something that will last into the future. It's going to take some, because you're both used to doing things your own way, and now you're connecting with somebody who was whole already, both of you. So there is going to be a bit of sacrifice. There is going to be a bit of inner sacrifice. There is going to be a bit of the fact that you're both going to have to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. You can't really rely on the other one to take care of you to the same extent that you can do that yourself. What is going to help you is, it's a new beginning, and it's very exciting. This is like something new that was missing from your lives, kind of thing. It wasn't missing from your lives, like your lives were complete already. But this is a new beginning, and it's fresh, and it's exciting, and it feels good, and living in that is really, really good. What isn't going to help is, we have Noldor, which is the rune of need. You may feel a bit constrained, and that could worry you, but you have both signed up for this experience. You've both shot your arrow. So coming back to what is helping you enjoy this new beginning, like, just inhabit this, like, enjoy it for what it is. And whatever comes of it, whether this is something that works or not, the outcome is that both of you will be stronger afterwards. There's a sort of wearing down that's going to happen, and there's going to be a revealing of the true metal that's going to happen. We have which in the Younger Futhark is drizzle and slag. So the drizzle is what wears you down, and the slag is the waste that washes away and reveals the true metal. So however this goes, that's going to be a very good outcome for it. Now, what's the full outcome rune? We have Isa, which is the rune of the ice. And in the Younger Futhark, this has to do with solidity and a bridge. So either way, a bridge will be built. You will be solid for each other. There will be something where, because you're both solid already, so you will be able to build a bridge between each other. Again, once again, whether or not this carries forward together or on your own separate paths, there will still have been that bridge that happened, and there will still be that sense of solidity that comes into being. So neat. So there is that solidity. So the outcome is just definitely one of great solidity and bridging, which is neat. You've bridged your worlds. So that's cool. So that is your reading card pile number 3, people. I wish you a happy Valentine's Day, and I wish you all the best with this adventure. And I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.